Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the live channel. It is my absolute pleasure to say that we have a brand new game to review. Or rather, we're just taking a look at, honestly, one of my absolute favorite roguelike games. Now, while I'm not the biggest overall gamer as far as that's concerned, I am a huge fan of certain specific games. This one, hi Wallflower, welcome, glad to have you. We're going to be on here for a while, people have like 10, 15, 20 minutes to get in, but I played Slay the Spire 2, or Slay the Spire 1 religiously when I was in college. I spent so much time on this game, or on its predecessor, that I really became pretty good at it, I will say. I was at 440 hours, which may not sound like a lot, but considering that it was basically a game that I would play exclusively while I was in class, it was a lot of time that I spent on it. And I can say with my whole chest, this is a massive improvement over the original game. Not necessarily because the design is so much better or different, I think that's kind of subjective, but the actual mechanics, and more importantly, the character classes that we have access to now, in my opinion, are objectively better than what they used to be. So you still have your central three. Gotcha, yeah. Red Faction Guerrilla. Sounds like a cool game. Your main three are still the same. You still have your Ironclad, who regens health a little bit. Same exact build as normal. The only difference is that there's been a couple of changes to cards, some of which are good, some of which are a little bit eh. The Silent is almost exactly the same. I would argue it's even more effective now, because a lot of your abilities have been streamlined. There's a lot less, like, weird discard and exhaust mechanics now. You just have one consistent discard mechanic called Sly. I think it works very well. And of course, you have my favorite, which is the Defect. The Defect has always been a big fan of mine. I like the cracked core. I like the lightning builds. It feels a little bit different in this game. In my opinion, it's just barely, slightly worse. But considering how broken the Defect was in the original game, or how incredibly strong it could be, I may just not have enough time with it yet. And of course, all of this is early access. Nothing here is set in stone. However, the interesting thing is, they've added two new classes, the Regent and the Necrobinder. Now, the Necrobinder has a little zombie skeletal hand thing, and they're a Lich. This is a really interesting class, because the hand essentially acts as temp HP, if you're used to things from like RPGs and such. It acts as extra shielding, it comes back every single turn, so you essentially have a single regenerating hit point in front of you, and it takes damage before you. That also makes up for the fact that you have the lowest health of any of the classes. In addition to that, Necrobinder has something like reverse poison called Doom, which is very, very powerful. We're going to play one game as the Regent, which I think is going to be my absolute favorite so far. It might be the one that I main. I used to play the Silent and the Defect only. Now I'm really liking the Regent. So let's get a game started with the Regent. You have pretty middling health. You don't have the lowest, but you also don't have the highest. And you have something called Divine Right. Now, Divine Right is essentially a secondary mana pool that you get to pull off of, and some cards only have that. Hello, Niao. It's lovely to see the giant space whale again. You have no idea. So, this is another big change. The whale is not the only NPC that you interact with, and it's not the only one that gives you buffs. So you can get Niao's Torment, Stone Humidifier. Ooh, I think Stone Humidifier is the one I'm going to get, because that increases my max HP. And I've noticed that the Regent really benefits from getting high max HP. Again, everything in this is kind of an early access build of the game. There are some assets that are just not available. There are other items or creatures or things that don't have their technically finished art, so we're just kind of working with an unfinished version of the game right now, which is perfectly fine, because it's still incredible. This is genuinely such a good game, even unfinished. I think the direction that I'm going to go, and also they added multiplayer, which I really want to explore. Oh, please, if you haven't gotten Slay the Spire or Slay the Spire 2, currently it's like $25 on Steam for the original game and the new game. Buy both. I've spent $75 on this game, basically out the gate, because I love it so much. So this is probably the path we're going to take. I'm doing this preemptively because I want to make sure that I hit everything that I want to. So the goal with this game, like a lot of roguelikes, is to survive, like, floors. And then once you get to the top, you fight a boss. There's the unknowns, which are basically the question mark rooms. They can give you buffs, they can do, like, weird status effects, and they can give you cards and potions. Merchants are places where, like in every roguelike, you can exchange your gold for stuff. Treasure rooms give you automatic relics, which are a permanent affectation on your character, like Stone Humidifier here. Rest sites let you heal and upgrade cards. Then there's normal enemies and elite enemies. Elite enemies essentially just drop relics. So the build that you go for is basically hit as many elites and then rest sites. So you can hit a difficult fight and then rest, and then a difficult fight and then rest. That's pretty much the build. Alright, so that's enough of me jawing. Let's get to it. There's been so many changes and modifications to the game as far as creatures go, and I've been playing it pretty consistently over the last couple of days. I'm doing great. I'm glad to see that everybody's here. It's good to have you guys. I also love the region is just incredibly sassy. Has two little little persons holding their chair. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a guy, but it's just the most limp-wristed serving cunt person in this game. Just every single ability is just boom. Snap that wrist, girl. Girl, guy, whatever it may be. So, you can see here what I'm talking about. Falling Star. This has 0 energy cost, but it costs your stars. Stars are, again, like a separate mechanic that the region has. It kind of works like a secondary mana pool. Some cards, like Falling Star, which I'm going to cast now, don't take up any of my energy, they just take stars. And then you can get other skills like Venerate, which give me my stars back. So it's, again, like a secondary mana pool that you can utilize as kind of a bonus or a way to get extra cards out that don't cost as much in energy. Or it's how they gatekeep really, really expensive cards. And if you can't tell, if you haven't played the original game, this art style is... I don't want to say it's massively improved, but it is different. And whether you like it or not, I don't hate it. There's a couple of changes that I'm like, I hope that gets fixed in the eventual version. But for the moment, it really feels great. We're going to take Crush Under here. Again, you get a new card every single level. Yeah, the Lazy Boy Palanquin is wild. It's so cool. But yeah, the region is supposed to be like a prince, essentially. You start out with 3 energy, so I'm going to do Falling Star. Bang. And then bang, bang. So, big advantage of these guys, the Corpse Slugs, and yes, I have played this quite a few times, so I know a lot of the enemies, is that when you kill one of them, the other one drops down because he essentially eats it and then gets stronger. There's been a lot of changes to the overall mechanics. Things like strength are still the same, but some of the lesser or, like, less used mechanics, let's say, have been improved. And I feel like a lot of the player builds are very, very fun now. I do not want a colorless card. Cosmic Indifference is pretty good. A lot of the stuff for the region is taking really good cards from your hand or from your discard pile, and then putting it on top of your draw pile, essentially guaranteeing that you get it next turn. It's kind of like setup in Magic the Gathering, if you know that. Okay, I'm taking the extra gold. Generally, I don't care about curses. I will absolutely take them. They're not usually something that's a big problem for me. I don't think I need health. Yes, so again, I think the Regent benefits the most from increased max HP. So that's definitely going to be the ones that we go with. And if I can keep going... How much health do I want to waste? Because this seems kind of broken too. Oh, okay. So if I can get... Alright, here's the deal. Here's the gambit. If I can increase my max HP basically indefinitely... and then stop at about halfway. I can go and get healed, which increases my max HP even further, and once I hit like 100 or so max HP, I will basically be unstoppable. Yeah, I have played XCOM. I played XCOM and I played XCOM 2, I believe. I didn't dislike it. But it also wasn't necessarily the biggest thing in the world. I wasn't like, oh man, I love XCOM. It's fun. It feels a little bit unfair at times, but I also think XCOM is very fun to play with friends. it is definitely a play with friends game, because I have never had more fun than when me and my buddies got onto XCOM 2 and basically screamed at the game for being terrible for like several hours. We had an absolute whale of a time doing that. It was great. Alright, so I'll gain back 27 HP, and it's almost never going to be upgrading cards, unfortunately, because Stone Humidifier is just such a broken ability. This is where I'm like, hey, some of these early access things, some of them are a little strong, and that would definitely be what I consider a little strong. So this is an example of a boss. Each of these guys have an ability called Skittish, which is when I hit them, so for example, if I do this, all of them gain block, which, again, changing the actual enemies, like what they're doing, these animations, that wasn't in the original game, and it's a massive improvement. It actually gives you some more feedback when you do things, which I think is honestly one of the coolest things about the new build of the game is, hey, stuff actually matters when you do it. Okay, here's another opportunity for me to showcase for you a mechanic that the Regent has that I think is probably the most powerful. It's called Forge. Basically, you get a star sword that you can use and activate as like an individual attack, but it gets stronger and stronger the more you forge. So it's called the Sovereign Blade, but look what it does. At the start of my turn, it literally spawns the sword and then gives me the item. So this little individual item, this little individual sword is literally just spawned on my screen now, and it's very, very good. 14 damage. I don't think I can kill anything just yet, so I'm going to block. And I think we're going to double block because I don't want to take a lot of damage. Menace. Turn-based, move squads around. Yeah, cool. That sounds awesome. Is it related to an existing fiction? Because I know a lot of those are. 18. You know what? I can do this. And I can do this. And, yeah. The thing is, you can recycle Sovereign Blade, and you can keep using it over and over again. It's kind of a mechanic recycled from the first game, because you used to have a thing called the Expunger. And the Expunger would kind of work like this. You would use it, and you would generate more and more expunges, essentially. And then, when you were ready, you would use the card, and it would deal just massive, massive damage. And that's kind of what the Sovereign Blade does, is you forge, and you add, and you buff it over and over and over again, and then when you're ready, you smack somebody with it for maximum damage. Ah, darn it. Could probably have used that energy. All new faction? Oh, made by the team who made Battle Brothers. I haven't heard of that one. Not nearly as unfair or punishing. Okay, cool. That sounds really nice. I'll have to look into that. Thank you, Wallflower. Alright, yeah. And you can also see a big change to this game that wasn't in the other one is that enemies can now do multiple attacks and multiple abilities. So you can see, like, right there, the Sovereign Blade's at 34 damage because I've been forging the entire time, which is really, really strong. Boom, parry. Sovereign Blade gives me 6 block. Definitely worth it. Another thing, Strike Dummy. Yep, strikes just deal an additional 3 damage. That's pretty good. I think I want to go up this side so that I can hit that other save spot and get some more health. Haunted Ship. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's massive improvements to some of the actual models for the game. Like, back in the day, this would be very, very much like a boss enemy, but this is like a normal enemy now, which is very cool. Turbo Mechanized Infantry? That sounds pretty cool. I love, you know, those kind of, not necessarily like strategy builder games, but squad builder games have always been very fun to me. It's kind of why I did the Armory series. I was like, huh, can I do this, but like for 40k basically? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. It is definitely worth it as well, because it has been a lot of fun, a whale of a time, really, to do. Alright, quickly getting rid of this guy, and then healing should be good, and then we'll get a whole bunch of health back, luckily. Alright. Crescent Spear. Venerate. Shield. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, well, we're going to take some damage, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I have Shield Potions, and I have Radiant Tincture. Radiant Tincture gives you more energy, Shield Potion just increases your block. Alright. Roll under. There we go. Nice and easy. We serve. Radiate. No. I think we want Hidden Cache. Hidden Cache increases your overall energy for like the next couple turns, so pretty worth it. Yeah, 59 out of 102. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're like, some of these things are very, very strong, like in comparison to the original game. I will take a Clumsy in exchange for a new relic. Pendulum. Shuffle your draw pile, draw a card. Okay, that's not bad, but it's not incredible either. Alright. I think we probably want to drink this, and then take that, this, bang, bang. Nice and easy. Suppression bonuses. Yeah, that's another thing that I like about some of those games, is like they get really nitty-gritty with like what buffs and bonuses you're allowed to put on your units, and I find that very fun. It's almost like playing Tarkov in third person. Not that I'm the biggest Tarkov player in the world, but it is a fun game. Okay, yeah, so Forge and... Holy shit, Forge 30 is broken. Summon Forth, we want that. Anything that can give us more Forge is absolutely preferable, because Forge is that thing, that mechanic that buffs your Sovereign Blade. We're going to get Radiant Tincture so that I can increase that, and decrease his strength by 1 to deal some extra damage. So the goal is to buff up the Sovereign Blade as much as physically possible, and then use it for max damage, and then continue onward. Yeah. A lot of these things have like been massively improved. I can't even really explain it to you as in comparison to the first game, but it's such a big difference with some of these. Like this guy, he gets stunned at 70 or below health. That's a mechanic that just like would not have existed in the original game whatsoever. Also, that was a misstep. I probably shouldn't have done that. It's alright. He's probably going to die next turn, or the turn after. Alright. Summon. Damage. Yeah. So, that's going to be really helpful. Being able to automatically summon the Sovereign Blade is pretty powerful. Oh, darn. That's unfortunate. We're not going to die here, but we aren't going to have a lot of health left. Darn. Might not make it far on this one, guys, but hey, I'm here for a long time. And hey, the faster I get through these guys, I'm also able to show you other classes. So the Necromancer is probably going to come next. Yeah, Rot in War is the best option there. We're going to rest, obviously, to increase our HP and to get us back up to some amount of health. Another thing, because this game is multiplayer, there's options to heal up your allies in it, which is really, really strong. Alright. Does that count as an attack? No, it's a skill. Put a card from... See, that, again, Cosmic Indifference. That is a really, really good ability. The ability to essentially preload any card that you just used back into your deck. Twilight 2000 with Alpha? Hey! Oh, yeah, you guys have been doing that? That's nice. PKM... Well, okay, see, here's the thing. A PKM, it's hard to hit anything with the PKM. So even in game, that's not actually that surprising. Alright, we're going to do Rot in War. And the thing is, we retain. So, retain essentially means that the Sovereign Blade is going to stick around in my hand until I'm ready to use it. Like, right now, maybe? Yeah, because he's vulnerable, which means it does 34 damage. Absolutely worth. And I gain some block, which is worth. So the big thing about the Waterfall Giant is essentially, he has damage that he deals to you when he dies, essentially. So we just need to get rid of him before that number reaches 42, essentially. A big change is that there's a lot more healing for your bosses in this game, which is a little bit unusual, because that did not used to happen in the last game nearly as often. You would get bosses that could regenerate health from like single attacks, or enemies who could regenerate health, but generally it was not a thing of like, oh, it could just heal itself as an action, basically. I want Falling Star. Because I can get Falling Star and Sovereign Blade in the same turn, and then I can basically do like 100 plus damage. Alright. Falling Star, Summon Forth, Sovereign Blade. Boom. See, like that's the combo that you kind of want to be running almost every time. Is just bang, 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 and snap it with a couple of really strong abilities. Hopefully I get Sovereign Blade again, and I can end this fight. even if I can't. Uh-oh. We might be done for here, unfortunately. I hope not, but we might be. Alright. Rod and War. Crescent Spear. Yeah. We need something that does a lot of block. We don't have much, unfortunately. I'm just going to do a defend. Hopefully I get lots of defense in the next one, because that would be rough. PP-19s. Yeah, pistol calibers are not great against armor, generally. Alright. That's as much shield as I can possibly do. I think I survived this. With one. Lived with one. So, because you live through a boss fight, you get to go on and it actually re-heals you entirely. So, let's take a look at these. All of these are new cards, obviously. And a lot of them are actually new to me entirely. I am invincible. 9 block at the start of your turn. If this is on top of your draw pile, play it. I don't think that's going to help all that much, because the chance that it's actually on top of the draw pile at the start of the turn is low. Big Bang, on the other hand, draw a card, gain energy, gain your secondary energy pool, and forge 5. Absolutely worth it. Exhaust just means you can only play the card once. So now my hit points are at 107 as I go into the next fight. We also have a Wax Dragon here, Pale, the Melted Dragon, which honestly kind of looks like a Dark Souls boss to me. Take part of me and be on your way. So Pale's Tooth, that adds relaxes to your deck. I don't need these, because I can't reduce them to 0. Remove 5 cards from your deck after each combat. Randomly add 1 back upgraded. I don't necessarily love this one, but it's not a terrible idea. Doubles block gain from a card, then goes to sleep for 2 turns. That's kind of like giving you automatically a whole bunch of dexterity, which I don't dislike, but I think I'm going to take Pale's Tooth. Mostly so I can buff some generic strikes and defends. And then I can take... Ooh, what do I take out for a turn? I think I probably want to take out another defend. Actually, I can take out all of my defends and just buff them all. So it'll remove them from my deck, but after 5 turns I'll get them back. So looking at our map here, we have a couple options. I'm really favoring this right bound route because it gives us a lot of question mark rooms. And I am a big fan of using the question mark rooms as much as possible. So I'm thinking right down here, we hit this marketplace, and then we go down, we go around to all of these question mark rooms, and then right down here. Because we have a lot of max HP, we don't need to heal that badly. Yeah, Resident Evil 9. It looks super, super good. I'm very excited to take a crack at it if I can. I don't think I'm going to get a million opportunities to actually play the game, but I am very excited in trying to give it a shot. Because it looks like a fun game. Fun on a bun, really. These guys have buffs that prevent them from taking a lot of damage. That's fine. I can pretty much knock them out with repeat damage. Extra energy at the start of my turn is great. Rod and War, Falling Star, Crush Under, Summon Blade. Yeah. So that's 28 damage. Unfortunately, it's actually not going to be all that helpful because they stop damage at 9. But, yeah. I was watching a little while ago, I was watching Markiplier play Resident Evil 9, so I'm probably going to go and finish his Let's Play of that, because that's probably what I'm going to do. Glitter Stream, 13 block, and the next turn you get 6 block. That's worth it, I guess, because it's kind of like Rollover, but better. Rollover was a card from the other game that would get... You get 4 block, and then you would get another 4 block at the start of your next turn. Alright. Yeah, so the deal with these guys, the Bullbug, is that this guy, if you block him fully, he stuns himself. But if you don't, he's going to keep attacking, and he does some pretty decent damage. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to Glitter, then I'm going to Summon Forth, and I'm going to retain that. Unfortunately, I can't Rod and War, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get some defense back. Leon Sex Appeal Kennedy? Yeah. Well, of course he cleans house. It's Leon. I'm kind of sad, because when I started my journey on Resident Evil, I wasn't playing, like, the really popular games. I was playing... Or, well, I was enjoying Resident Evil Biohazard. And that still, to this day, is one of my absolute favorites. I think Biohazard is really, really fun. Now, I know people don't agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But I did really enjoy the story of Biohazard. And I liked that it carried over into Resident Evil Village. And I understand that it was meant to be set in like an off-world or an off-side world, but even with that, I think it was still really, really fun to do. And, yeah, when it comes to all the Resident Evils, that's kind of the one I started with, so I am a little bit biased towards it. Just a little bit. But yeah, I think Resident Evil 9 looks great. Yeah, it did revive the setting 100%. I think it's also just fun in general. Alright, random uncommon potion. I would prefer potions to, like, things that I can sell, because you never know when you're gonna run into an actual merchant. Remove 2 strikes and gain ultimate strike. Remove 2... I'm gonna do the strikes, because I want ultimate strike. Yep. Basically double damage, which is worth, considering that a lot of our basic strikes don't get used very often. Oh, Warpaint! So yeah, Big Bang and Venerate are both gonna get it. We're going to rest to regain our hit points and max out at 112. God, they have so much health. Again, I started with 75, so gaining that much max HP is awesome. We're going to go with Hidden Cache, Big Bang, Falling Star, Ultimate Strike, Summon Forth, and Parry. And then next turn we'll get Sovereign Blade to do a significant amount of damage. Parafrite. Oh, the Obscura. It's a camera. I see. Alright. I think we want to do Glitter Stream. And then Crush Under. To decrease his strength so that we don't take as much damage. And then Sovereign Blade. I'm hoping to get the Obscura down or be able to hit it with Vulnerable to knock it out. Because this thing, as cool as it is, and as much as it, like, looks dangerous... There we go. Raw in War. And then, boom. 28 damage. Massively increased. Oh, I should have forged 15 to kill it. It's okay. It does not matter. Going through Revival with the amazing remakes. Yeah. 7, 8, and 9 have been great. Yeah, back to back, it's been really cool. You know what else is really lovely? And I know I'm letting my darn Markiplier love show here. I got introduced to Evil Within a while ago. And just as equivalent to Resident Evil, I've been saying it's super, super good. If you haven't played Evil Within, but you have played Resident Evil, you should try it. Because it's very equivalent in terms of how good of a game it is, essentially. Yeah, the revolver is the real gun. Yeah, the Russian 50 cal revolver. Yeah, it looks wild. I've seen a bunch of clips of just how much screen wobble that does. Retain. Gain 9 energy. Yes, please. That is absolutely worth it. I mean, it costs 5 energy, but I can get 5 energy. It's not too hard. Happy Flower! Look, it's Flowey from Undertale. I think. At least there might be a reference to that. Alright, so we are finally going to smith. I know. Took me forever. We're probably going to buff Summon Forth, because that's really good. And there's almost no reason not to. That forges 15. That applies weak and vulnerable to enemies. Probably going to do that one. Know thy place. Ooh, do I forge 15 and do it here? Hidden Cache. Gamble. Falling Star. Crescent Spear. I think we go all in. I think we go all in. 30, double to 45. Yeah, so it drops him to half health. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something genuinely commanding presence. Because, yeah, you're right. People do, how do you say, they're used to the Magnum. Or they're used to the Deagle. Even, like, to be honest, a 44 Magnum and something like that. Oh, why do you dislike Deagles? I love the Desert Eagle. It's a pretty powerful gun. And I am also a big, just, revolver fan in general. But, I also understand why people like the Deagle, because it's very, very powerful and semi-automatic. It also has a commanding screen presence. But then again, the Dirty Harry revolver also has incredibly powerful screen presence. The 44 Magnum has incredible screen presence. In video games or in movies, it doesn't really matter. Hegemony. Hegemony is wildly good, because next turn gaining energy is so powerful, it's 100% worth. You don't like massive pistols that aren't revolvers? I can understand that. We're going to increase our max HP even further, because, you know, that's fair. Skill in your deck with royalty approved. Gains innate and retain. I don't think I want that. Because innate and retain is cool, but not incredible. Forge 3, Double damage to the enemy. We're taking that. Bronze Scales. Yeah, because we have a lot of health, so we're going to get the opportunity to use that a lot. Rot in War, Crush Under. Do we want the... Yeah, I'll take Royal Stamp, just so that I can do Big Bang. Because that is innate, retain, draw a card, gain energy. So at the start of the turn, every single round, we will have that in our hand, and we will be able to keep it through multiple rounds. So in case we don't want to use it in the first one. Hand cannons should be revolvers. I agree. I can absolutely agree with that. Hand cannons should be revolvers. Makes plenty of sense to me. Alright, we're going to do bang, bang, this to get Wrought in War again. Mag dump that. And then I think just hit him again. I also want to use a colorless card here, just because I can do it. Deal damage to a random enemy. Nice. Okay. Know thy place. Know thy place again. Big Bang number 2. Wow, that's kind of broken. That should not be something I'm allowed to do. That is insanely powerful, and I have just trivialized this encounter. Thank you very much, game. Easy. See, like, this is the point of where Slay the Spire gets so fun, is you can just bang, 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 combo, 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 combo. And it's so darn powerful. Now, there's ones that are better and ones that are worse, obviously. But generally, almost every single class that you play will have some type of build that allows you, like, either an infinite, health, or an infinite damage combo, or an infinite buff combo, or something of a similar build, essentially. We're gonna get that. I should have probably played Glitterhelm there, but it's fine. Alright, let's see. Summon Forth, and then Ultimate Strike, and then Sovereign Blade for 52 damage. Oh my goodness. Crescent Spear for the win. Boom. That easy. It's that easy. Alright. I want Conqueror. I want the thing that makes my discount expunger essentially deal double damage for the turn. Okay. I don't know exactly how these guys work. I know they have a build where they put things in my hand that are bad, but I don't know exactly how it functions. Yeah, Royal Gambit to max... Because the thing is, stars don't go away, but energy does. So we want to save as much of our energy as we possibly can. I'm not using Sovereign Blade yet. I will use Parry and then Cosmic Indifference. Because Cosmic Indifference will allow me to use Glitter Stream next turn again, and I'll be able to hold out for even longer. The longer that I take holding out, and the more energy I have between turns, the better off I will be. Myself personally, I'm always a big fan of big bore revolvers. Hell, I own one in real life, but it's just always tough for me to be like, I don't like this specific thing, or I don't like this specific weapon system. Because, time and place, right? There's always going to be something that might improve it. And situationally, certain revolvers are going to be better than a Deagle, and sometimes the Deagle is just objectively better than the revolver. Not always. I wouldn't even say most of the time. But I would say a good portion of the time. Alright, he's dead. Moving on to the next one. We're going to take a little bit of damage here, but we should be absolutely fine either way. Alright. How much damage is the expunger doing? I think I can kill it this turn. So, Summon Forth, Conqueror, and then boom. Yeah, that's such a disgusting combo. Gambler's Brew, that's not a terrible one, but it's not great either. Seeking Edge. Sovereign Blade damages all enemies. Okay, well that's fair. That's a fair card. Alright. Gain max HP and gain back health. Alright. So Gambler's Brew we're only going to use when we really, really need it. Okay, what's the deal here? Big Bang. Know Thy Place. Summon Forth. Furnace. Hegemony. And then I think I'm going to hold on until I can cast Royal Gamble, because Royal Gamble is going to be so good once I get all that energy. Alright, let's see what I have so far. Wrought in War. Ugh, I don't have anything that's actually going to catch me some good stuff. You know what? I'm going to real quick, I'm going to get rid of all the ones that aren't buffed. And I'm going to replace them, hoping... Oh, I didn't get any energy. That's unfortunate. 30 damage. I think I'm just going to max out Rod and War and continue to buff up the blade. Because when I got Conqueror, that'll do 80 plus damage, and that's what I want. Which is definitely preferable. Alright. Seeking Edge, Forge 7. I want to do Venerate. Yep, and then Royal Gamble for the extra one. Conqueror. Ooh, I can't do 2 Conquerors in a row, but I can do Sovereign Blade dealing 90 plus damage. And then Falling Star. I should have done Falling Star first. Damn it, that could have been really, really nasty. It's fine. We still have 2 rounds. We should be absolutely fine. Hidden Cache. Parry. Ultimate Strike. Damn, I'm kind of floundering here. I need to pay attention. Gotta lock in. Yeah, there is a point at which the size of the handgun does kind of work against the aesthetic that you want for it. I can definitely agree to that. There's some calibers like 4.54 Kasul where I'm like, some of those pistols look a little bit silly. But just because it looks silly isn't really the end of the world. It could definitely still be functional, even though it looks a wee bit odd, you know? And we're going to get another Frantic Escape. If I get a Conqueror right now, I can just straight kill him. The amount of health I have is just disgusting, too. And I think if I do Forge... Yeah, Forge 7, Sovereign Blade. Yeah, just bang for 6. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I die at the start of the turn. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Oh, that's such bullshit. Oh, I had him there. If I had played the vulnerable before the other one, I would have won. Alright, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, so you gain XP, and then you get other stuff like epochs and such that essentially build off of that. So let's go for the Bony McFingies guy, because the Necrobinder is also a really, really interesting build. And I love Osti, or as I like to call the little, I like to call it Ötzi, kind of the Scandinavian version of the little skeleton hand's name. I don't need a colorless card. I don't want to get that. So I'm going to transform a card. I'm going to transform one of my blocks into a Cleanse. Okay, summon 3 and exhaust a card. That's okay. That's not bad. Size Queen with bullets? Yes, very true. Absolutely. Some revolvers are really, really good. I don't really need anything for personal defense that's bigger, much larger than 10 millimeter. That's why I'm currently on 38 Special. Like, that's my good medium, and I know it's like an old-fashioned caliber, but 1, old-fashioned doesn't mean bad, and 2, 38 Special is really accurate. And that was kind of the main thing I wanted. I'm like, hey, outside of 50 yards, how many hits can I get on a target, you know, at that distance where I'm really reaching out to touch with a handgun? And 38 absolutely does it for me. I think I can reliably get 3 out of 5 on every target at 50 plus yards with, again, like a 6-inch, 7-inch barrel, no scope. Well, obviously you don't need a scope to 50 plus yards, but still. And even at 75 yards, the first shot is not too hard. Yeah, well, the thing is, Dirty Harry's a 44, not a 38 Special. 38 Special is very, very different caliber. I think I just have to go hard right on this one, because there's no really good lane here, but this one has the most rests with the most bosses, so it's just going to be hard right on this one. Gotta go hard right. So this is Ötzi, or Osti. Exhaust 1 card from your draw pile. I don't want to exhaust cards at all, actually. That might have been a bad pick. Well, I didn't pick it, so it's not really a bad pick if I didn't choose it. So you can see Osti has 1 health. Osti is also protected by my shield, and then before I get damaged, Osti dies. And then at the start of my turn, Osti comes back with 1 health. So you see, instead of taking like 5 or 6 damage there, I just took 1. And then you can use an ability called Summon to boost Osti's health. And you can kind of see the build that you go for. You just increase Osti's health, use Ötzi to do damage. I'm going to keep calling it Ötzi because I like that, like, O-umlaut name. Yeah, 40 Smith & Wesson isn't terrible. I know it has the reputation of 40 short and weak, but that doesn't mean that it's entirely accurate. And, hey, any pistol caliber is deadly. as long as you aim correctly. That's always been my opinion. Every pistol caliber is deadly. All you have to do is aim correctly. There's even some people who are big fans of 22 just because of how many rounds you can fit in the guns. Like, if you're talking about a self-defense scenario where you only have 22, it's still not too bad if you're able to just empty it, essentially. And in that scenario, they may be little bee stings, but they certainly do go right through the target. Summon 3x times, I don't need that. Flatten is a good one, because Flatten can be cast for free. Let's keep going. We're going to go with Bodyguard, increase my summon size, Unleash, and then Shield, hopefully to keep it alive. It won't be, but at least I won't take any damage. And see, this is what I'm talking about, where I say the Necrobinder has the lowest health, but they also have the most regeneration, because Osti comes back, or Utsi comes back, every single turn. So no matter what, you have like one regenerating hit point, essentially, which is pretty powerful, honestly. Yeah, 22 is also great because you won't have any issues with you know, your hearing afterward, as opposed to even 9mm indoors isn't incredibly loud, but 38 is definitely quite an ear-ringing sound. But then again, I would not shoot my revolver indoors if I had the choice. High Five is good because Osti can use that as a double hit. Ooh, look at these little tadpoles. All right. So the goal is to get Unleash, then use Flatten, then go for a kill. And then defend. Yeah. So that's kind of the combo there, is you get Osti to attack, you buff Osti's health, and then you like Bodyguard or Summon in order to give it more HP so that you don't take damage in the side of it, on the side effect. I wonder if it helps with Thorns. We will have to see. It does not. So Osti actually takes damage from Thorns for you, which is really, really good, honestly. No escape. Doom. Here's the other mechanic I was talking about. Holy shit, that's powerful. Okay, that's good. So Doom works like the opposite of Poison. So Poison works by progressively damaging the target's health. Doom works the opposite way. It works like the lower the enemy's health is, they instantly die if they get below a certain HP. Enfeebling Touch is also really, really good. I like how the Necromorph, the Necromancer, basically builds like a Lich from D&D. And a lot of the weapons and options are very Lich-like, in a way. I'm gonna go with Doom. So you can see Doom, this little tombstone. If it has 10 or less HP, it dies. And we can buff up that Doom number, and we can increase it with time, which essentially means that once the enemy reaches a certain hit points, they just lose the game. And Countdown is great for this, because at the start of every single turn, they're going to get more. So it's going to be 16 at the start of their next turn, and then it's going to be 22, and then it's going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. Osti has an attack this turn. I would like to defend and then hit directly. So the idea is that if you can keep increasing Doom, you can dramatically shorten the amount of time that a fight takes. I think we want to do Enfeebling Touch. Then just... I want to kill this thing quickly so I don't have to take that extra damage. Because as you can see, like, it seems like I did nothing that turn. But Doom has increased, and the Doom will continue increasing. Unleash, Flatten for free... And then I have 2 more, and I can see I don't have to take that damage, but I can let Osti take it instead, and I will survive to the next turn. Also, I don't know if every single version of 22 is hearing safe. I don't want to say that out loud, because I don't know for sure. But I know that quite a few of them are hearing safe. Because I don't, like, you know, do you need a suppressor or something? I don't really think so, but you can see Doom just auto-kill. Very, very strong. I want Flatten again, so Osti can deal more damage. And with this, Skulking Colony. This one's not too hard to beat. I'm going to be real. I'm pretty confident in my abilities here. Strength and Dexterity buff. Strength and Dexterity. Strength increases your overall damage. Dexterity increases the amount of shield that you get. So we want High Five, Flatten, and then Unleash. So So that yeah, so this has a max amount of damage that it can take, which is rough, because I just fucked that up. Oh, this might be the end of our run. See, you can see I'm still building with these and figuring out exactly how they work. Because, it's entirely new to me. We're going to boof up Austie. Rough. We're not going to have a lot of health after this fight. Alright. Damage. Flatten. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be maybe 2 more turns. We'll see. 2, maybe 3. We want Countdown, Bodyguard, Shield. To keep as much of our health as possible. Yeah, 22 Suppressed is movie quiet. Yeah, you're right. It is. It absolutely is. And I would say... Okay, yeah, that's game. I'm going to take some damage, but it's going to be over for him. Ah, nice. Amethyst Aubergine. It is literally an eggplant. Nice. Blights. Okay, we want that. So anything that buffs up your Doom when you attack is preferable. That's really, really good, actually. Yeah, no, I'm just going to take the basic thing and get Nunchucks. Nunchucks are good. And then we can heal ourselves and heal up our little Austie, or Utsi. I'm going to keep calling it Utsi. I love Utsi. Alright. Get a Relic. War Paint. Buff up our Cleanse. That actually kind of makes it worth using. Then heal ourselves again. Again, because we have such low health, it's kind of important to stay high on HP. Pay 35 gold. Oh! I would like to increase my max HP. I can just do that almost indefinitely. I'm going to keep going. Yep. That's worth it. That is absolutely 100% worth it. We're going to Smith, because I want to buff... Ooh, what do I want to buff? I kind of want to buff Countdown, because Countdown is so good, and it's just an encounter ender, so it might be worth it. Like John Wick mixed with Hotline Miami? Intravenous 2. I will look into that. I've been also thinking about getting into, not Lethal Company, but, oh, what was it? Yeah, it wasn't Lethal Company, it was... Oh man, I'm losing it. The Heist game. Yeah, it was a classic heist game. I forget exactly what it was called. But it was... Oh man, why am I forgetting? I shouldn't forget this. I know what it is. I'm just trying to remember. Payday. Yep, I was thinking about getting into Payday with friends. Because Payday is really, really fun. Alright. Austie is going to mess this guy up. And then we need to kill the fat gremlin. Which, if you notice, these are the guys from the first game. These are the original, like, little gremlin goblin guys. Which are adorable. Bodyguard, Unleash, and then Flatten. Boom. Just straight pipe them. Very nice, and then we can get our gold back. Transform a card on your draw pile into Soul. I don't really want that. I will take Fear, though. Yeah, and then we can do a boss. Yeah, Payday 2. It seems like a pretty good game to me. Alright. Alright, what do I want to exhaust? Probably this. I don't want to use it right now is the thing. High five, because I want vulnerable. And then weaken vulnerable to everyone, so that we can decrease the amount of damage we take. And then if I can, I want to keep Austie alive, so I will shield myself to keep myself alive. Payday 2 is really, really fun. From what I have seen of it. 80 gigs? Yeah, it's a big game. This is actually only 2 gigs. You would think, oh, this is a really big game. No, this is only 2 gigs. Shockingly. Genuinely shockingly. I was really surprised, because we were playing it last night, and it takes like 5 seconds to download, and then it's just, you're good. Forever. Alright, so that guy's gonna get doomed. So he's gone. And then the rest of them are... Hopefully, apply 10 Doom. So he's going to be done. Enfeebling Touch, I don't want to take that damage. And then shield myself so that Austie can survive. Or Utsi. I'm going to keep calling it Utsi. Love that. It's not Scandinavian. Is it Norwegian? Yes, it's Norwegian. It's the O with the umlaut. Yeah, I think that some part of the big name games being unoptimized has to do with the actual developer company. Like, sometimes they don't really understand what a functional rig computer is as opposed to a high level rig. And so they play everything like they're assuming their consumers have a big computer with a lot of RAM and storage. And that's just not always the case, right? But, some of them are also preparing for console, and console has a limited supply of battery, but you also have a disk and external drives and things of that nature. So it's not always that it's unoptimized, sometimes it's just not completely thought out. You know what I'm talking about? Alright, strike. Yeah. The Longavulin Matriarch, which is a type of whiskey, I believe. Alright. Countdown. No escape. Yeah. So the goal is to max out Doom on this thing so I don't have to deal 200 damage, because to be honest, I don't think I can. We want this, flatten, blight, Austie. Yeah, so 31, it's going to be 40 next turn. We should be able to resist any extra damage. Bodyguard, enfeebling touch, strike. Yeah. So it's going to be 40, then 49, then 50-something, and then we're going to be able to kind of grind it down. Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy is only 100 gigs? Oh, yeah, it is 3. That is 3 big games, so maybe it is just, like, not being prepped to do it correctly, or it could be an optimization thing with time. Like, older games may have been space-consuming in their day, so to speak, but nowadays it's not nearly the difficulty that it used to be in order to get them onto, modern-day consoles, or onto modern-day computers, for that matter. So, it might be an optimization over generations thing. So, like, hey, in the 90s, this was a really easy thing to optimize and to get correct for our game system. But today, it's a whole heck of a lot harder. Also, damn, Doom is so powerful. There's another card in this game called Reaper Form, which I really, really want. 3 damage, 13 damage. Add replay to a card in your hand. Costs... I don't really like that because it increases the cost of a card. Oh. Double the damage all hang cards deal to this enemy. Is that permanent? It might be. I'm going to get that because it means it'll basically deal twice as much damage as long as you're hitting the same target over and over again, which for bosses is going to be the play. So there's 3 levels to this game, and we're on the second one now, just to give you a reference. I don't want Pumpkin Candle. Brightest Flame. I don't want to lose max HP. Very Hot Cocoa it is. Alright, what's the play here? I don't see a lot of bosses. This looks like it might be the only path. No, come on, there's got to be another place. Maybe here? Maybe across? Yeah, so up, around here, across, past that boss, past this, up to that station, here, secret room, flame, giant crab. Alright, so this will give us some leeway, but it's not going to give us a lot of opportunity to heal, so we need to keep ourselves at high health. Back to the bullbugs. Defend. No escape? Yes, no escape. Cleanse. Do we have anything we want to get rid of? Probably one of the basic strikes, and then a defend again. Yeah. So the goal is to max out our defensive so he stuns himself. Yeah, an external drive is absolutely needed. I had to upgrade a little while ago, too. Alright, we want to do Unleash, so that we can get Flattened for free, and then Bodyguard or Enfeebling Touch? I think we want Enfeebling Touch on him. Yeah. So that way we don't even lose any block, and Austie still has full health. And he stuns himself, which is even better. I didn't even see that. Damage, vulnerable, Defile, and then Strike. I am going to take a little bit of damage here. It's unfortunate. Video on how the AdMech would or / will beat the Imperium. See, the thing is, I don't really consider you a contestant for beating the Imperium. You're behind a very long line of other people. And also, I severely doubt that I severely doubt the Mechanicus would even know what to do if they quote-unquote defeated the Imperium. Tuna. By the way, pleasure to see you again. Sims 4? Really? We're complaining about The Sims 4? Oh, well, you know what? I have no place to talk. I've paid a lot of money for stupid shit, too. Downgrade around, common relic? I would like a common relic. Hey, Juzu bracelet. The Juzu bracelet is great because it means that all these question mark rooms won't be terrible. Meal ticket, that's kind of important for real. Because it's about to heal us for free. Yes. Okay. Distilled Chaos. Oh, Distilled Chaos is such a good card. That's such a good card. Time's up. Deal damage equal to the enemy's doom. Huh. That kind of seems broken. I can get both of those, so I am getting both of those, because that is so strong as a combo. I'm taking it. Yeah, Paradox hurts. I've been playing Paradox games for a while. Playing Paradox games is painful. It's so hard to, like, not get nickeled and dimed for everything. Which is sad, because, like, anyone who plays Paradox games knows they're really fun. And they take a lot of your time, and they really have more replayability than most games nowadays. But they're also hard to 100%, so to speak. So, for example, the most time that I have on any game, I think, is Hearts of Iron 4. And I love Hearts of Iron 4. I would give my life for Hearts of Iron 4. And yet, it is still kind of rough for me to justify buying the DLC every time they come out, because it's like, what do I really actually want? What am I actually getting out of this? Is it going to be worth it? Pull aggro, I don't think I want that. I want more fears, because fear is pretty powerful. Alright, more bullbugs. We want countdown. We want high five. Defend. Bodyguard. And then if I can kill this guy in one turn, I absolutely would like to. I don't think I'm going to take any damage from this. Maybe? 1 damage is fine. I will gladly take 1 damage. Fear, defile, and then block. Want that extra block so I can stun him. Yeah, see, the thing is, every time the Mechanicus have tried to discover lost technologies about the Imperium or without the Imperium, it has gone pretty much horribly for them. Because a lot of those lost technologies are in the hands of people who very much both do not like the Adeptus Mechanicus and are very capable of killing the soldiers that they have. You know, whether it be the Necrons or Chaos or whatever it happens to be. Plus, hey, I'm totally on the side of the AdMech winning everything, because that just means the Dark AdMech win everything. Because all it takes is a little bit of influence between the two of those, and one side or the other is going to come out on top of that metaphorical argument. Alright, we're going to do hang, and then we're going to do flatten. I think I may need Radiant Tincture, but I will use it next turn, buff-wise. Oh yeah, Radiant Tincture definitely coming out, and so is the Fish Oil. Fear for the Ethereals, Blight Strike, Enfeebling Touch, so I don't take as much damage, and then random hit. Alright, 22, and then they have Doom on them, so it's going to continue. More and more. No escape. Strike. Yeah. So as you can see, they already have 56 Doom. At the start of the next turn, pretty much, they are dead. And that is pretty solid. Yeah. Ah, darn. If I dealt a little bit more damage, we'd be fine. It's okay. I can defend myself for a turn. Oh, or I could just do this, and they just die. Nice. Nice, yeah, that times up is really powerful. Negative Pulse. Negative Pulse is pretty good. Yeah, it is the Doom Blade! Bag of Marbles. Bag of Marbles is nice. It deals vulnerable to enemies at the start of the game, which means that they're always going to be taking double damage for the first round. Not that I do a ton of damage in the first round, but, you know, some. Feebling Touch, hang, flatten. Boom. See, that's the kind of damage I'm looking for real. Just 30-some damage in one turn. No escape, Blight Strike, Defile. Already at 22 Doom. Let's go. Alright, I think we want to do Cleanse. Give ourselves some extra health. And then Time's Up. Is that worth it? 22 damage? 19 damage? Okay, I'm fine with that. I am fine with that. I will take a little bit of damage heal, but I will heal up eventually. Alright, Negative Pulse, Invoke, Bodyguard. Give me some more health at the start of next turn, and then Invoke will give me more energy at the start of next turn. And that's pretty good. Alright. High Five, Flatten, Wisp, Defend, Countdown, doesn't matter because it's already dead. 29 Doom. Solid. Yeah. Like, you play around with your health a lot with this build. Oh, okay. I didn't see... you know, no. Let's just do Shroud. Because if we're doing Doom as our primary mechanic, I want things that feed into that build. Alright. If we can get through this elite combat... Oh, no. This is not the enemy I wanted. So this guy's pretty strong. It's called the Demi Centipede. I need to shield. Basically, each of these individual sections, if I don't kill them all within a turn of each other, they come back with half health, basically. Which makes it really hard to kill them all, because you need to keep their healths at a relatively similar thing. There was a version of this, or an enemy like this in the first game. It was referred to as the Slime. And it was really strong. But these, so far in my runs, have ended more of my games than anything else. They are very, very tough to get rid of. Which is not a bad thing. This is the second level. That's kind of where these types of enemies should start showing up. But that doesn't make it any easier for me. And I hope I can go through this. I would curb your billions of Skitarii language, but, you know, you do you. Again, I fear the B word. The word with a B frightens me. Alright. Yeah, so, Doom gets rid of the two of... Oh, shit! Oh, darn it. Alright. We shall continue. We shall continue. I didn't realize I was that low health. My bad. Yes, in the Codex it says billions. I don't like the B word. I dislike. Alright, let's give Defect a shot. It's also mostly because population-wise, how many Forge Worlds is it? And then from that, you can extrapolate how many people are on said Forge World, but either way. It's also billions transit-wise. How's that even possible? Again, I don't like throwing around that word. Even if it's like canon, a lot of that shit is also good old-fashioned Imperial propaganda. So, just a me personal thing. B word, not necessarily the best choice. Even if it is legit. And if it is legit in that case, then the logistics around it would be extensive. And those would be something to go into in their own time. I do not really have a road here that I like. The safest one isn't here, because this goes through 5 encounters with no rest. This goes through 2, and then I think I'm going to take this one. And just go along. Yeah, if it's 3 or 4 Forge Worlds pushing together, that's still a lot. Tens of millions would be more reasonable. Because even if it was just a singular billion, that's still an insane deployment of resources. And, you know, an entire population's worth of soldiers is a lot. Think of it like this. When you talk about a population raising a military, you should expect that the military consists of somewhere around 2.5 to 5% of the overall population. If you have an army that's a billion, that means that the population can be extrapolated to over 100 billion people, which is never true in any society, basically ever, even in 40k. At least that's my assessment. You could disagree with me on that, but I don't think 100 billion is going to be the population anywhere, other than perhaps Terra itself. And you may disagree with that extrapolation. That's perfectly reasonable. But again, 5% is usually the absolute maximum, and that's not the elite. That is the rank and file soldiers. And perhaps on a Forge world, you could consider the Skittari the rank and file soldiers. I would definitely call them the elite in comparison to something like Hypastus or more generic Forge guards, perhaps. But again, that varies Forge to Forge. Play a random attack from my draw pile. That's not bad. It's an extra attack for one energy. But with an elite force, you can be looking at 0.5% or perhaps even 1% of the population. If they all die, wouldn't it be negligent compared to the reward of a complete STC? Depends. Depends entirely on what the STC is, in my opinion. If it's an STC for a better primary weapon for the Imperial Guard, no. If it's an STC for a coffee maker, yeah, probably a waste to have your Skittari dying for that. Alrighty. I don't know, maybe it's a really good coffee maker worth billions of very elite soldiers, but I'm pretty sure the soldiers probably wouldn't agree. I mean, can Skittari disagree? I don't really know. Perhaps they can simply resist in their hearts, but there's not much they can do about it in the actual combat. Well, everything on it. What STC was it for? Most STCs are a specific item or a specific function. And STC versus the concept of an STC in general. What STC was it for is what I'm saying matters, because if it's an STC for a tank versus an STC for, again, like a coffee maker, that makes a difference as to whether or not it's worth it. Also, a complete STC would be the machinery and then the actual STC itself. So the, like, AI workshop part of it, and then in addition to that, all of the machinery that you would need to run the factory that it tells you how to build, essentially. I don't think there would be such a thing as an STC that just has every single design on it, because that would be, well, obviously that would be practically impossible to build because it's designing around a factory, but also I feel like that would probably invalidate the concept of an STC in general. Because we have plenty of STCs and STC fragments. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, STCs exist. I mean, there are complete STCs. It's not that there aren't complete STCs. There absolutely are. It's just what they make and how much of that they can make. The way that I described it is like, again, an STC is a blueprint that tells you how to make a factory to make a machine. A complete STC would be, oh, it comes with the entire factory in addition to the blueprint. And then what happens in the Imperium is once the STC is set up, the Imperials break it down, or usually the Forge Worlds will break it down, and to each individual discrete step, and then make sure that everything is running very well, essentially. So they super, super hyper micromanage every single portion of it. Yeah, exactly. They're pieces. They're sections of the factories, or perhaps just pieces of the blueprint that I'm describing. Hailstorm. If you have frost... do I want that? I may as well give it a shot. There's nothing wrong with it. Scrape. No, I don't want that. Compile driver. No, I think I'm just going to hold on to my money. I would prefer a relic to any of that stuff. Sharp 2. No, I don't want that. Enchant 2. I think I would do Sharp 2. Why not? Let's do Uproar. That way it's doing 14 damage. Yeah. Alright. Let's go with Energy, Zap, Uproar, Loop. Loop is great, because it just activates your frontal orb twice. Which is awesome. Your journey ends here. I don't think so. Hailstorm. Hailstorm number 2. Strike. Dual cast. Doesn't really matter. I need some damage. Shit. I'm gonna die. Let's get some dexterity. Dex up. Yeah. Well, yeah, so multiple things can include, like, hey, it's got a piece of a lasgun design, or it's got a piece of this, or a piece of that. But a complete one would be everything. The whole mental part, I say mental, more like the whole machine learning portion, and then in addition to that, the machinery that goes along with it. Again, because a lot of these are discovered from areas where there was once industry. It's not just like they spring out of the ether or they're transferred to a random location. Sometimes people have grabbed them, the central AI core or whatever, is not AI, but the central automated core or whatever. But yeah, a lot of them are in pieces. It's kind of difficult to call them pieces. It's more like you find sections of the machinery, or you find incomplete portions of the memory, essentially. And again, the problem with STCs is that the images we have for what an STC looks like and the book description we have for them vary dramatically. So STC itself might be a completely second-order concept. Let me explain. Second-order concept as in the Imperials don't know what these used to be called. You know, whatever they were in the Dark Age of technology. They don't know what the actual name was for them. So even though they might be different actual things, you know, not everything is the same in terms of whether it's a factory, an STC, an AI core, etc., but the Imperials just refer to all of them as STCs because they are standard templates. Like, it makes sense that they're all similar, but they might not actually be the same, because when you talk about something like the Men of Iron that Gaunt finds in his book series, that's an entire underground factory that automated and works on its own with like an AI core to it. And then you see pictures of it where it's like a giant dome ball that works like a holistic internal factory system. And then you have other ones, again, that are just like a tiny piece of data. So whether every single version is an STC or whether just some versions are an STC and others are other types of technology called STCs, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think anyone is, to be honest. I would like to share the knowledge, please. All right. Charge. I don't want that. Glitter. Crush under. Ooh, Nightly Punch. I will take that, because that's infinite damage possibility, which I want. Like infinite damage. Dingy Rug. Oh, he's literally selling the rug out from underneath him. Cool. What does it do? Okay, rewards gain colorless cards. That's not really that helpful. Retain your hand. That's not good. Parry. Oh, Bulwark. Yeah, Knockout Blow. Hold up. No, that's not worth it. Alright, Bulwark is definitely the best option. Bulwark gives you a lot of forge. And it gives you defenses. Yeah. Alakablam pulls out Glock. Yes, I will take greed in exchange for more gold. Why? Because I am greedy. Smithing, we're going to smith Bulwark, because buffing Bulwark makes it such a good card. I think I want... Yeah, I want Bloody Ink. More max HP, please, because again, this guy benefits from max HP pretty dramatically. Falling Star. He's weak. Still weak. And block. Serve, King. Let's go. Never forged the skit with the guy from Infinite Shotgun? I have no idea. Alright. I'm able to block that. That's good. Oh, yeah. Yes, Alakabam. Oh, what's that dude's name? He's a great YouTuber. With the mustache and the super cool skits. Damn, I forgot his name. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. X damage to a random enemy. X times. No, I don't want that. 5 or more cards in a turn. Draw 1 card at the start of your next. Yes, pale blue dot, please. That is worth it. Upgrade to random. Yes, upgrade to random cards. Yes, okay, strike and defense. See, like, it seems bad when you don't get your bigger cards upgraded, but strike and defense being upgraded is not bad. They're never a bad thing to have your basic cards just be better. Pale blue dot. Yeah, I don't need that. I would like Kingly Punch to be upgraded, so I can get more damage off of it. Okay, it's these boys. That's actually not that big of a problem. This. Bang. 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 Nice and easy. Spread the damage around. Someone who doesn't drink? Oh, yeah. No, Fireball's not great. I actually finished off half a bottle of vodka before I recorded that video last night, and that's why, if anybody noticed that I was really slurring my words during the last video, there's a reason for that. I was shit-faced. Like, I was absolutely wasted. And I do that before certain videos when I feel, well, I feel the need for creativity. And I also feel a need to get things done quickly, because the more I drink, the faster I talk, generally. And that's not always a good thing, but sometimes it is very helpful to get a 2-hour video down into the hour 20 slot. But Fireball was my go-to drink in college because it was very, very inexpensive. And to my knowledge, it is still very inexpensive. Would I recommend it to somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience drinking? No. Mostly because if you don't like the taste of cinnamon, you are not going to like Fireball. It is a very generic whiskey. It is incredibly sweet. That is the major allure of it, is that it's really, really sweet, and people who like sweet things will probably like Fireball, because it is basically liquid syrup, but the problem with Fireball is that intense cinnamon taste. And it is intense. It is very, very strong. If you don't like cinnamon, if you don't like cinnamon-flavored things, if you don't like cinnamon candy, really the best thing I could give it as a reference is if you took a cinnamon candy or something like that and you melted it down and turned it into a liquid. That is the best way that I can describe Fireball to you, because that is the most accurate way that it tastes. Is it a very strong alcohol? Not really, but it is kind of middling as far as strength is concerned, kind of similar to other whiskeys. It is not bad, but it is also not the most incredible thing in the world, if you're getting me. I definitely don't drink it anymore. It is a teenager's drink. Cursed in tabletop games, the fact that you're a teetotaler. 4 scenes at the bar and ask what the character drinks. If you're going for drinks at a bar in D&D, here's what I'd recommend. Red wine. Not only is red wine delicious in real life and good for you, you know, subjective, I'm not suggesting you should drink, but I'm saying that if you're gonna drink alcohol, red wine is basically the only one that has some health benefits. I am Italian, I am biased, obviously, towards reds, but it's not wrong to say that reds have some good health benefits for your heart. They can help lower cholesterol, and as far as your character in a video game or in a tabletop game, having them drink red wine is easy, because almost every place is going to have it, and it gives your DM an opportunity to create cool wine brands, which is something that, one, your DM rarely gets to do, I guarantee you, and also, it's kind of fun for them. They enjoy it. I certainly enjoy it when I get to make up wines for my players. Alright, we're going to defend, and forge again. Yeah. Just to max out so we can just use the expunger and win. Yep. Alright. Give me that expunger, please. There we go. Free and easy! Monarch's Gaze. Attack an enemy, it loses 1 strength this turn? No, not worth it. Really not worth it. Oh! Wait. Wait. No, I want to get Rotten War. Rotten War is just better. Hey, it's a little guy, a sea punk. Alright, defend. Kingly Punch. Venerate. I kind of don't want to lose any more health, so I think I'm going to go with Resonance. You lose 1 strength, I gain 1. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, shit, that was a bad decision. I think I just killed myself. Rip. Rip my life. Alright. I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad choice. See, I'm still getting used to the damn game. I'm still getting used to it. I love this game so much. It's so much fun. Honestly, the multiplayer was a godsend. This game was good before. With multiplayer, it's going to be indescribably good. Genuinely. Alright. It's this bastard. So here's the build. Kingly Punch. Shoot. I think I just, again, killed myself. Bulwark. Wrought in War. Yeah, we need to buff that up, and then hopefully, we can get something that increases our strength again. Pale Blue Dot, Refined Blade. Yeah. We have to go all for broke, or else we're gonna eat it. Alright. Bang, bang. We're gonna go for Flex Potion. It's hell for leather at this point. Sovereign, defend, defend. Okay. That was good damage. Can't do it with everything. Yeah. Yeah, whiskey or vodka, that's fine. I would say that ordering beer in a D&D tavern is kind of the go-to, but also I dislike the idea of, like, beer in D&D in general, because a beer from the ancient days is very different from our understanding of beer today. It's I wouldn't say a totally different spirit, but it's a very different brew or way of brewing liquor. Very, very different. There's a lot of differences in the way that it gets made, and, in my opinion, more importantly, there's differences in the quality and the alcohol content. Oh my god, if I get... Okay, that's game. That's game. I win. I win. 100 damage. The expunger is so good. Sovereign Blade is just brutal. Okay, here's the other really good thing that you get. Bombardment. This deals like 20 damage per turn every single turn. It is so strong. Yeah, ancient beer is like grain stew. That is a very true statement. Sacrifice rewards to pale. Every 2 sacrifice you obtain a relic. Oh, sacrifice card rewards for relics. I'm taking that one. Because that means I can get rid of cards in exchange for relics, which is really, really good. Alright, let's go through this way, up to here, and then here, 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 and here. That should be nice and easy. We should be able to hop, 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 hop. Very, very simple, very, very easy. So, Bulwark, Pale Blue Dot. Pale Blue Dot isn't really going to help us all that much, and I kind of regret getting it, but at least it'll get it out of our deck. And we'll be able to use it for other things. 29 damage, boom. Easy. How many people do I think are on Terra? Technically, it says that there are hundreds of billions. I think that that is a bit of the Imperium didn't actually count, and so they are just saying that. Do I think that it's actually possible for Terra to have that many people on it? No. Do I think that it's possible that it's in the maybe upward of 50 to 60 billion people? Yes. Maybe 100 billion if we really want to stretch it. But, you know, that would be very, very extreme. Just because of, you know, not necessarily resources, because, of course, Terra has priority of all resources. But also, do we know of any, say... not Forge Worlds, but Agri Worlds in the Sol system? I can't think of any off the top of my head. I don't know any that I've heard of. So Terra must take in a lot of food if their population is that high. You get what I'm saying? And what that may be worth, I'm not sure. Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's not necessarily that hundreds of billions couldn't fit, it's that hundreds of billions won't live for very long. Okay, I would like Hidden Cache, Spoils. Oh, I probably should have grabbed Gather Light. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Remove 2 strikes, add Ultimate Strike. Yes, absolutely. Give me that. Bang. Ultimate Strike is totally worth. Totally worth. And the other thing is water, right? You can recycle as much water as you want, but at a certain point, you're going to run out of water. And running out of water, kind of bad. Kind of a problem. Kind of kills people more than running out of food. And much faster than running out of food as well. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good. That's almost broken. It's just, once it's exhausted, it permanently deals 18 damage at the start of every turn, every single turn. So it's just a tax. It's just a constant tax on their health. Yes, take my stolen card back. Okay. Convergence. Do I want that? glow. I'll take glow. That seems better. Let's go with defend, glow, and kingly punch. Kingly punch, punch, punch. Yeah, FTL is not fast or safe enough for stuff to be really interstellarly transited at that high of a rate. I mean, you could argue that there's certainly stuff that will be able to be transported in very high quantities. For example, water. Water ice could definitely be shipped in huge, huge amounts, and all that you'd really need to do is drastically lower the temperature that you're holding it at, which is not impossible. I mean, you can always expose it to the void of space where there's no light, which is a lot of areas, and then you can just freeze a whole bunch of water. But the thing is, water's not infinite. And water also, you know, goes away at a certain point. You're going to have diminishing returns if you're relying entirely upon, let's call it, foreign water, so to speak. So if it's entirely a foreign water source, you're going to have a hard time. The other thing is, a lot of freighter ships are kind of just built around the concept of maximizing the amount of things that they can ship. So if you were, say, to just be shipping tons of water, it could be thousands of tons of liquid water, or tens of thousands of tons of ice. Yeah, metal and iron is another example, like you said, of like, hey, that really isn't going to work. It's just going to be hard to transport to a lot of places. And yeah, the other thing is, stuff comes in spurts and shots, right? It's not necessarily that you get all of these things immediately all at once. Also, I am 100% dead, my goodness. Yeah, that's definitely the end of this run. Darn. Unfortunate. It's fine. I should have probably jumped with the others anyway. Level up, please. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of how you determine what is raw and processed goods, right? Because if you have fuel from a feral world or a refinery world, and you bring that to another world, technically that's a raw resource, but also, hey, that doesn't mean that we can't refine it on our world, and then it becomes a not-so-raw resource anymore. So it's just kind of how you choose to look at it to a degree. And also, how far it has to travel, right? Because if you're going one system over, that might be travel of only a couple of weeks. But if it's going multiple star systems over, now we're talking about months or years worth of travel. And that's significantly less reasonable as far as that's concerned. Alright, let's go this way, bang, 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 bang. We will try that. I don't think it's going to work because that's a lot of encounters. Yeah, I can agree to that, and it's why a lot of, you know, worlds will have multiple agri-worlds or multiple food-related worlds in the same subsector. It's like, oh, well, this food came from here, and this fuel came from here, and it's all within the same relatively small star system. It's not that they all have to be right next to each other, they don't need to be sister planets, but they should at least be within a couple of months' travel of each other. Because as far as, like, FTL may not be fast, but the communication isn't slow. Like, I don't want to say that it's instantaneous, but astropathic messaging is not extremely slow. It's just how long it takes to respond to astropathic messaging that's the problem. And of course, that can be interfered with through the warp and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't imagine Terra receiving food from outside of the Sol system, for example. I would imagine that there's some food-producing world there, or there's a very long time supply route from ships right outside of the Sol system. That might be possible. I could see that. Because, if it's a constant thing, if it's like end-to-end traffic of freighters constantly traveling in the same direction, constantly moving food, it doesn't really matter if it's slow, because it's going to be consistent. Every month one comes in. Yeah. That's the other thing where I say, like, hey, decreasing the overall needs that a forge has, by decreasing the number of things it needs to produce, and therefore decreasing the number of soldiers overall in the setting, that certainly makes it more reasonable and easy to understand why things look the way they do. It's easier to understand logistics if we boil it down to, hey, maybe it's not so massive as they kind of make it out to be. And that's a controversial take, I'm sure, but it's one that I stick to because it makes a lot more sense logically. Alright, I'm going to go with slice because that's free. Nice. Okay, good. Thank you. I didn't know that there were agri worlds in the segmentum. Is it in the segmentum or in the sector? Because I'm talking about Sol sector, like within our real-life solar system. I will take a look at those, though, because they're good to know. Are they both still operational? Because those sound like names of planets that have been knocked out, I'm not going to lie. It would be good to know if they're both operational. Populations of the Sabbath Crusade? Yeah, 2 billion is definitely a major regional capital, in my opinion. Like, that is a lot of people on certain worlds. And, a regional capital, that's a subsector. That's essentially a couple of planetary systems. So a 2 billion population capital isn't unreasonable. But on others, you're going to get 8, 9, 10, similar to our modern-day Earth. I would expect a lot of planets with hives to be similar to our modern-day Earth, but far more concentrated. Because, again, the same logic that applies to hives also means that there's no reason to really populate the entire planet and have a hive. If you're making a hive, it's to concentrate all the goods and services and production in one area where the people are. There's no reason to start a city on the other side of the planet unless it too is a hive once you've done the concentrating part. There's no reason to do that. So a lot of the time, it is going to be like, hey, 9 to 11 billion people live within this 200 square mile megacity. And that's kind of it. There's a couple little outposts here and there with a couple thousand people living in it, but it certainly doesn't get us over the couple extra million people that would make it like 1.6 billion or whatever. Alright. Poison is the main mechanic for these guys. Yep, exactly. And then there will be planets with multiple hives, but the difference between a hive world with one hive, or even a hive world with a mega city and no actual hives, and a hive world with like 11 hives on it, is pretty significant. Those true hive worlds are going to be pretty horrific. I would say that horrific is the correct term as far as living conditions is concerned. For example, Terra is probably an awful place to live. Again, in my opinion, it's probably an awful place to live. Because a lot of things are just not available. By the way, this is a disgusting enemy, but this is also really, really cool to fight against. So, big ups on this frog parasite. 'Tis filled with worms. Also, I love how its main mechanic is worms. And when it dies, it becomes more worms. Alright, let me see. Weak, strike, defend, defend. Hey, okay, so poison's gonna take care of it. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, a small segmentum can still take years to cross in terms of planetary time, and in terms of FTL time. And also, it being small, but the population being large, kind of cancels out the size problem, because even if you have a shorter distance to travel, but you need double the resources when you get there, you kind of haven't improved your situation all that much. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Also, segmentum being the smallest, I kind of push back on that because it has a very high density of settled worlds, where if you look at somewhere like Segmentum Tempestus, it's both small, thin, and it's a lot less developed. So you could argue that that one is actually less difficult to supply. But again, that's semantics at a certain point. And it brings in like, hey, how long does it actually take to cross this segmentum? I don't know. Nobody knows. I've guesstimated several times, like, maybe a couple of years to go all the way across it. But that's the other thing. How can you go multiple years to cross a segmentum? The theory essentially goes, well, cryosleep, pretty much. They do the same thing that Halo does, where it's like, oh, they were asleep the entire time. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe that works. But does that apply to everything? If I put livestock or animals or meat into this cryo or stasis, are there enough, like, stasis pods in the Imperium that applies to all of the freighter ships? In my opinion, it's probably cold and dry storage. Rather than... Well, it may depend on the warp, but it may also just depend on distance as well. And, yeah, I would imagine getting through, like, the Badab sector would probably take you a very long time. It's probably miserably uncomfortable as well. But, something like, let's say, grain. If I'm transporting corn, do I have to worry about the corn spoiling, or is there some system on board my ship that will keep it fresh? Myself, personally, I think that the corn is probably something that's going to be in a very, very cold storage method. Basically, you freeze it. That's my logic. I would see that happening more often than not. Because that's really easy, it's cheap, it works for most stuff. Not everything, but it works for most stuff. Okay, kind of concerned here. Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know what to do here. I guess this and this, I suppose. If there's nothing else I can do. God, I hope I win this. Molten egg? Okay, that's fine, I'll take it. I really want to play this on stream with friends. I would I'd love to do multiplayer with friends. I don't know who would be willing to put their voice on the channel, but I would be super happy if somebody could. Alright, I'm gonna... No, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do this. Slice. Backstab. Strike. Strike. Because that way I can probably kill the next turn. Yeah. No, I don't think it's a bribe the AdMech type thing. I think it's reasonable to say that a freighter can travel that distance. My question is just, how do they do it with their goods intact? Because there's two types of fields in the Imperium that can theoretically do the job, right? Like, you have stasis fields, and you have the other kind. You have not cold fields, why am I saying that? Not cold fields, but cryosleep and cryofields. Freezing stuff works pretty well. It's not perfect, but it works pretty well. No, distance absolutely matters. 100% distance matters. Warp travel isn't a wormhole. You're still traveling the distance. It's just like moving in the nether. It's further. Traveling in the warp also warps time. It could take you longer or just as long, but usually it's just a fraction of the original time. Now, that's not a fraction of like 1/4, but if it took you 30 years to travel there in real space, or a decade to travel there in real space, it might take you 2 or 3 years in the warp. Or longer, or less time. It's entirely based, essentially, on how far you're traveling, where you're traveling through, and, as you say, how cooperative the warp is, so to speak. Could be really bad, could be really good. But the warp doesn't just chunk all the time down to, like, 0, or make it like teleportation. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, okay, see, that's the thing. I'm not necessarily saying that the people need to be in stasis. I'm asking about the goods themselves. Like, can I put my corn into a frozen grain bin 35 stories tall and keep 50 tons of product cool or frozen for an extended period of time? I would say yes. I would say that's absolutely something that I can do. But that may not be true. I don't know. I can't really prove it because we don't know all that much about that type of Imperial logistics. Oh darn, that's game. Yeah, the stasis field ones, that's for stuff like really hyper expensive fruit and vegetables. Like we have examples with apple peach specifically, where it describes how apple peach goes bad if it goes below a certain temperature for like 5 minutes. So they have to they need to have extra stuff for it essentially. So they keep it in stasis or in a deep cryopod essentially by itself. I want to do as many of these mystery rooms as possible because I want to experience all the lovely things that they have. And we're just going to go up here, and there. Boom. Draw myself out my route. Well, you need to freeze the navigator so they don't age a million times, dude. You don't need to have the navigator there constantly. That's why they have one box navigators, like I described, and also, you have navigators who are awake, and then probably ones who are off-duty. Or, they draw you up for a short period of time, then you put them away for a little bit if it's going to be like a 5-year journey, and then you take them out again when you need to leave the warp. The navigator is helpful for setting and charting you a course, but if the navigator needs to constantly be awake and active on, like, the bridge, they're essentially going to die very quickly, because if you're traveling 2 to 3 years at a time, how many warp jumps can you get out of the guy who's awake the entire time? And again, that's assuming that you're traveling extreme distance. I would assume that the Imperial Navy probably has this problem. But logistics freighters, they might only be traveling for a year at max if they're in the warp. Real space freighters, they need to have cryo, or else they just will not live. If you don't have cryo and you are a real space freighter, there is zero chance that you're going to be successful, because you might complete 3 shipments in your entire lifetime. Because it could take a decade to get from one side of a subsector to the other in a real space ship. Genuinely, it can take a really long time. And that's why you need cryo, so that you can stick them in there and not have them age. Which we know they do to Imperial Guardsmen, for example. So we know that very important, or individuals who need to, do other jobs, well, they get the opportunity to be in cryo. And it apparently is common enough on Navy ships that that is just a usual thing for them. No, that's what I'm talking about. So, I've discussed this before, putting the astropath's brain inside of a jar. I refer to them as suitcase navigators. Essentially, if you're a cheaper ship that goes through the warp, rather than paying into a navigator house and having them stay with you and take care of them as a person, you literally take like a failed navigator or like a half-breed navigator, and you just stick them inside of a suitcase-sized module and put them on your ship. Again, they kind of work like a servitor, but it just effectively makes them easier to manage, and they don't age or die as quickly. Yeah. It almost works like a GPS. Yes, it is objectively worse than having a living person who can help guide your ship, but it's also a hell of a lot cheaper, and it means that the average hot freighter or warp-going freighter doesn't have to make a deal with a navigator house, which would be very hard to do. And also kind of pointless for the navigator house. Like, if you're just like a tithe merchant, what the hell would be the point of doing that, you know? And we do know that tithe merchants absolutely have to pass through the warp at times. Now, they do spend some time in real space, but they also have to pass through the warp in order to get between sectors. Alright. Fog Mog. He's mogging me. I don't like it. What is this? Fairy in a bottle. Hey, Fairy in a bottle! I missed that one. Love Fairy in a bottle. Fairy in the bottle essentially saves your life when you die. It's very good. Yeah, exactly. Like, they could be lower quality, or they could just straight up be those, like, suitcase versions. I don't really have a preference. It could be either one. We just have never had it confirmed, you know? I don't really want to... Yeah, I don't want to take any more damage. Not good at this game yet, but we're working our way up. I will get used to it. Come on, Sovereign Blade. There we go. Good stab. First 2 cards you play each turn are free. I want that one, because that is really good. Nunchucks, worth it. Very nice. We want our health to be almost at max, preferably the entire run. Yep, Void Form. It doesn't even matter if I take damage. It's just automatically having 2 free cards at the start of the turn is so worth it. Yep, because that costs 0. And now I can just play everything else. That is such a trump card. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Kingly Punch. Glitter Scale. And then just Venerate, Defend, Defend. That's such a good card. I will upgrade that. I want that in my hand at the start of every single game. Oh, and it's free on energy, too. That's busted. Cool. This is fair and balanced. Dude, I don't know about the calculator thing, because didn't Call basically make Abominable Intelligence by strapping together a bunch of his own cloned brains? I'm not sure how PC that shit is. I'ma be real with you, Chief. I don't think that one is allowed by the whole AdMech on top crew. At least that is what I heard. You know, don't hold me to it. I just heard that he perhaps is keeping some Abominable Intelligence literally under the floorboards. That's different? Okay, that's different. Sure. We'll say that, we'll pretend that's different from, you know, the rest of it. Also, I love how the definition of artificial intelligence varies so dramatically depending on who's using it. Like, AI in the hands of the Votann versus AI in the hands of the AdMech are so dramatically different. And then when normal human beings run into AI, it's the traditional AI of like, I will kill you, human. It's like, alright, cool, that makes more sense. This is now 40k, rather than, you know, linking a bunch of brains together. Yeah, I know it's not the same thing, but it could be the same thing, and if you attach 10 computers together, the AdMech think it's the same thing, but, you know, just an observation, maybe some inconsistency there. What does this do? Deal 6 damage to a random enemy. Alright, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's not incredible, but it's not bad. Sovereign Blade 35, take it. Yep. Bang. 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 Absolutely worth. Okay, that Void Form has literally saved my bacon so many times right now. That is such a good card. Like, I don't like to say that stuff is broken, because this is the early version of the game, but oh, that's really good. That's really good. Yeah. Wrought for War. Defend, defend, defend. Easy. Yeah, see, I don't know how he's a heretic who the who the AdMech want to murder, and yet he's somehow the most important and powerful tech priest in the entirety of the setting. Put 2 cards from your draw pile into your hand. Okay, sure, whatever. That's weird. Nobody likes him? Yeah, I mean, the Imperium likes him. Let's be real. The Imps like him. Hell, at this point, I would argue with his luck, the Emperor likes him. So. Damned Emperor. Ruined everything for everyone. What do you think, what do you think about the new AdMech releases, by the way? That whole, you guys got a new character for once. What do you think about that? That looked pretty cool. Alright. Glitter, Venerate, Shield, Damage, Damage. It's amazing. Yeah, good. I'm really glad, because it looks like incredible bits to do other kits with as well. I am really staunchly resisting buying any more kits. One, because, you know, I don't want to spend money. But two, I think that there's more coming that I'm going to be interested in. Specifically, I'm waiting for them to put out more cult-related stuff. And the Red Corsairs are a very good start. Very good start. Oh, great. So their Order Reductor, they hate Call. Good to know. I wouldn't imagine Order Reductor would be a big fan of Call. That makes sense. Kind of taking their thunder as the biggest and the baddest, you know? Alright, we're going to heal ourselves, and then we should be good. Is the model... You like the model itself? Because I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, this thing gets bigger and bigger each turn. I want a skill. Let's go with Glow. I don't need that. Foregone conclusion. Strike. So it can deal damage back to itself. Yeah, the DPS just gets higher and higher each time. So we need that Void Form, and we need the Dex Potion. It's fine. Totally cool with that. We want this, so that we can do bang, 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 bang. Yeah, and then we just take very, very minimal damage. Yeah, you guys got the heavy AdMech boys, the heavy Skitarii, right? I forget what they're called. Are they Order Reductor Hypastus or Order Reductor something else? I forget. Whatever it is, it's a pretty good buff for you guys. They do some pretty good damage. Yeah, I agree. We should kill about 70% of all of the other of the Marine characters and give them to other factions. That's perfectly reasonable. Honestly, I think that Marines should have more sectioned off sub-factions rather than all being equivalent in terms of size and characters, like everybody needs their own character. I think that it should be more specific, like, hey, you know, one group for each segmentum, essentially. Is that fair for everyone? No. Do I want it to be? No, because it shouldn't be. Because I don't think that Gilliman and... what? Hastari or something? Yeah. I don't think that the same emphasis should be placed on every single group of Marines. Alright. Honestly, the Void Form makes this kind of broken. The Void Form is so good. 2 free shots at the start of every turn. Yeah, and then I can just get this and this. Yeah. Easy. Easy. Oh my god, it's so good! It's so good! This may be the run, ladies and gentlemen. This may be the run. End of combat, gain 30 gold. Royalties, that's funny. I'm going to go with Seeking Edge, because that makes my sword even stronger, and it can kill little guys way easier. Come here, dragon boy. I'm going to go with Pale's Tooth, so that I can get all of this stuff upgraded. Let's go with... I feel like the best options are to go with like this, 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 and this. Yes. And just get those out of my deck and then get them upgraded. Okay. Best build for this is going to be down this way, or no, this way. And then down. Nope. Down right here. So we can get to a shop early and just go like that. Boom. Easy. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that they're doing the bulkier versions of your troops as well, because that's very, very helpful. It also makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, if we have an Order Reductor troop who is much on the heavier side, so to speak, it makes sense that they would have bigger, more heavily armored troops. If we're going to have an officer of that corps, essentially, it should be the most heavily armored troops that are available. Alright. Strike. Blade. Forge. Probably should have done that before. That's my bad. It's fine. He's going to deal like 21 damage to himself anyway. Yep, there we go. That's going to be game for him. Alright. Kingly Punch. Kingly Kick. Jigglypuff. Alright. Stardust, no. Summon Forth, no. Yeah, I'm going to go Summon Forth so I can get that sword on repeat. Nice and easy. Also, a lot of minor fights to get through Pale's Tooth. Let's go with this. Death instantaneous. So we can focus on this guy. Means we're just going to take 15 damage, but we will be fine. Let's go with Spoils, Summon Forth, and Kingly Punch. So that, yeah, we can kill him next turn. That's okay. We're going to take a little bit of damage. It's not preferable, but it's what we have to do. Give it to him. Sovereign Blade. Nice. Alright, Gather Light. Gather Light is really good, because it's free energy. Oh boy, what is this? Hunter Killer. Kind of looks like a Screama Killer from 40k. Kingly Punch, Rod and Steel, Venerate. Alrighty, Falling Stars, Kingly Punch, and then Strike. Most reliable strike. I'm not too worried if we die, because we do have that, thing. Boom. That's such a brutal hit, too. And he's gonna kill himself? No, but he's gonna come close. Yep, dead. Nice. Nice. Fire Potion! Convergence. Yeah, we're gonna do Convergence. That's good. Secret. Oh. Pay 91 gold. Gain a debt. I don't want to lose gold. What is Divine? Oh, this is a new minigame. Oh, that's kind of terrible, but not too bad. Huh. 7 stars guards. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one for the extra stuff. That's not really that bad. It is just a little bit odd. Clarity extract. Draw an additional card. No. Know thy place. Parry might be worth it. Parry's good. And then I don't need to retain, so I will get a shield potion, and then that's all I have. Okay. Solid. It's not bad at all. Resting for health. The sniper was pretty funny. I don't know, like the Inspector Gadget long legs. I find that funny. I can understand why it would be a little insulting after years and years of good stuff or expecting good stuff to get the sniper, but I still found it pretty funny. Alright. 12. I think I can block this. Yes, I can. Alright, nice. He's already at half health, because, you know, this is a fair and balanced deck. 16. Seeking Edge. I'm going to do it, so I can forge it, and then I will get it, and it will do more damage next turn. Alright, Summon Forth. Rot. Bang. 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 Nice. Such fun combos. I mean, you say Mog very accurately, but also they are basically just they're basically just Devastators, which is not bad. Devastators are great, arguably very powerful, but they're not exactly the only thing in the world. Leggy boys. Still shit sniper. Yeah, it was kind of an insult to you guys a little bit. I can understand that. Alright, this Reflect is also really good. It basically gives you discount thorns, which is very, very powerful. And it allows your enemies to kill themselves, which is kind of preferable. Man, I really, really want... There we go. I want that. That is what I want. Whoa. Bang. And then just bang. So good. Such a good card. Solar Strike? Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. There's a lot of 3-cost cards in this that are going to be very, very expensive for you. Planisphere, whenever... Hey, nice, okay, so that buffs our health in question room, so we can use that to our advantage to gain health. Which is really, really helpful, because we're not going to get to heal before the next boss fight. Lose dex... Yeah, I'll take that. I want more max XP. Uh-oh. That kind of defeated the point of what I was planning. Darn you, game. Foregone conclusion, please. So I can get Void Form and finish this fight quickly. Alright, we want Void Form, really. And then everything else is kind of secondary, doesn't matter as much. Alright, Void Form. And, yeah. Void Form is the way to go. This, bang, and then bang, bang, bang. Yeah. It's a solid build. It's a solid build, this. A little bit odd and a little bit off, but definitely workable. Kingly Punch, guards. Let's go with 1 and 2. Minion sacrifice and defend. That was probably a bad idea, but it's fine. The Titan Worm Centipede model. I hate to break it to you. I severely doubt that you're ever getting that, but I believe in you. Keep going, buddy. I do truly believe that one day, GW will give you an affordable Titan that you can actually use. Bang. Oh my god, that's so strong. That is so strong. Yeah, just one-shot the entire army. That seems fair. Yeah, that definitely seems like something that would be in the game and not cause any problems whatsoever for any reason for anyone. That would never cause horrible game balance issues at all. Anything that uses the phrase one-shot, I don't necessarily think belongs in 40k. Because this is not COD. And that shit is usually not going to fly. But hey, who am I to say that? Anyone can enjoy whatever they like. And if your thing just so happens to be making other angry nerds at the table be very angry nerds at the table, that's perfectly reasonable. Alright, I'd like glitter. Spoils of the Forge. And then more glitter, honestly. Toxic is such a pain in the ass. They've made that much more of a mechanic in this game where, you know, certain cards will just damage you if you have them in your hand at the end of the turn. Summon forth, foregone conclusion, defend. One of the toxics, and then use the other thing to kill. That didn't kill. Unfortunate. Probably should have just done damage. Hey buddy, how you doing? Glad to have you. We're just doing some gamering. If you'd like to come on, you're welcome to. Not sure if you'd like to, but you are welcome. Seeking Edge, defend. Yep, that's going to be nice and comfortable for me. Next time I get in, I'll host a multiplayer and see if anybody wants to join. I really don't want to die here. That would be embarrassing. Because I'm not playing incredibly optimally. Because I'm streaming, basically. Alright. You... Gather light, defend. Probably should have played Void Form like 20 minutes ago. Oh, you all good, homie. Go gadget white phosphorus. Yeah, that's the Mechanicus for you. Though I do also have to add, like, white phosphorus is not the worst thing that the AdMech have. In my opinion, the radiation is probably worse, just in general. Devastate, that's not terrible. I would rather get some stuff from this, though. Let's go with... Let's go with this. Just these. And prophesize? Nah, another wrought for war. Probably not going to survive this, but I can give it a shot. 42 health. That is not a lot, I tell you what. Alright. It's going to take all of our strength and our power of will. Also a little bit of this. Yeah, some of that. Some of this. Oh, fuck it. Mayhem. Let's do it. That's kind of random. Let's try it. See, biochemical... How bad is biochemical, right? How bad is biochemical? It couldn't be too bad. There's plenty of things that are straight immune to it, so, you know. How bad could it be? I say that facetiously, knowing very well how bad it could be. Get reflected, nerd! Alright, just one second. Alright, I'm trying to think here what would work out best for me. Okay. I think this still keeps us alive for now. Alright. For now, it's not too bad. Falling stones, parry, defend, strike. Yeah, this little bastard can heal himself, which I don't like. Healing himself is cringe. Sarin gas. Sarin gas. It's heavy. Sarin gas is heavy, that's all I'm gonna say. It is heavy. I have so many status effects. Look at all of the status effects. I am fine not being able to play more than 3 cards each turn. That is fine. I will kill you only being able to play 3 cards each turn. That is an entirely doable thing. Not at all a problem for me. Yep, so that's 1, and then it hits 2, and then 3. Which again, not bad. I wish I had some more defense, but honestly, I'm still alive, and I still have my fairy potion. Which is fine. Devastate. Yeah, just devastate. Summon. Sovereign Blade has 53, so we get Conqueror or something, we'll be fine. Conqueror's hockey moment. I need to stop, because people are gonna get the references, and then I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna have to start streaming One Piece and get assassinated by the Japanese government. Yes, I will choose to take... There are just so many stacking debuffs. It's awful. Yeah, no, I want to do that. 29. See, the Reflect has done more damage for me than anything else has, which is so funny. It's 36. If I can defend 36, which I can. If I can defend 36, how much damage does the Sovereign Blade do? Let's go with Convergence so I can get more energy next turn to keep casting more cards. I'll have 1 health left, but I will be fine. Kingly Kick. And Kingly Punch, honestly. I mean, we're gonna go... What? Oh! I was 1 turn off from killing him. Damn it. Damn it. Well, I'm gonna keep going. To be entirely honest, this is stacked like an anime mom. Jesus, buddy. Jeez. Stacked. Oh, Lord. Let's deal with it on a Necrobite. Alright, this is gonna be the last one. Win or lose, I'm probably gonna end sometime around 4:30, 4:20. Alright, let's go with a rare card. Whenever you play a card, you get Doom. Let's keep going. Let me see here. Ooh, none of these are particularly good routes. Wow, literally none of these are... this is the only one that's even, like, mildly acceptable. Wow, that's such a long break without any help. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. Okay, that's gotta be the one. There's not many options. That's so rough. Alright. Alright, defend, strike. We want to lose as little health as possible early on, so that we don't get massively obliterated by enemies soon after. Whenever you can't play a card this turn, target gets doom. Yes, please. Get doomed, nerd. So he's got 9 doom, which is good. Very solid. 9 doom is absolutely something I can do. Because I can summon, and then I'll be able to kill him next turn. Probably. Hopefully. I'm very confident. I don't need that. Boom. Game. Nice. Yeah. One of the big tactics in this game is the ability to kill people without taking damage, which is hard. Blight Strike, I'm taking that. That's so good. It's just a basic attack that does doom instead of, or in addition to damage. Mazalith's Gift. Oh, Ritual. Love Ritual. Ritual is very, very good. Let's not take any damage, shall we? Because we can just buff Doom without taking damage. Come on, Osti. Or Ötzi. Let's go, Ötzi. That's it. No damage and Doom. Now we're getting the hang of it. Negative Pulse to increase the amount of Doom available to us. Yeah. Doom da doom doom da doom da doom doom. Doom da doom da doom doom da doom doom. Zombies are taking over the jungle. Bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. Soon we must find the way to the temple. Da da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum. Do we not have things to survive? Da da dum dum da doom doom da doom doom. I don't know if anybody knows that song, but that's from way, way back in the day when they were doing, like, rap versions of the Yes! Oh my god, of course you know that one! Zombies have made their way to the temple. Now we must find our way through the jungle. What YouTube channel was that? Because that dude is no longer making music. I don't believe he's making music anymore. But yeah, he was pretty good back in the day. That is an old reference. I am an old referencer. I make it to old references, as they say. Upgrade 2 random cards of the Discord pile. Yep. That's super good. Look at this punch construct. Honestly, I kind of like what they've done with these. They're much better than they used to be. In terms of, like, assets and artwork and such. Invader Zim reference? Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Oblivion, negate, bodyguard, then unleash. Okay. So we should be fine, and then we can have him die to Doom this turn. Actually, no, we can just straight kill him this turn. Nice. We are making much better progress. Shared Fate. I think I want to do Borrowed Time. I'm going to try Borrowed Time, because dooming yourself isn't too bad. Also, where was that really good one? Oblivion. I want this upgraded. That's so good. Very, very powerful card. Okay, what do we have here? Dredge, Dirge, Debilitate, Pull from Below, Sleight of the Flesh. None of these are really that good. Duplicator. I'll get... Oh, I can't get Duplicator. Alright, never mind. Nope. We will save our money for the next guy, see if he has anything any better, which I'm confident he will. Oh, Damp Cultist. I don't like damp cultists. They are damp. Of course, I love Chaos Cultists, but Chaos Cultists are rarely damp. Well, I don't want to say all Chaos Cultists are rarely damp, but rarely are all Chaos Cultists damp. You know what? TBH, I'm good taking some damage here. Not a ton, but a little. And we're not even going to take any. Nice. Not even going to take any. We're all good. Bodyguard, damage, defend. 19, we're not going to take any DPS. Easy. Easy as pie. Negative Pulse, Drain Power, and Shield. And then just he dies to Doom. That easier. Better than moist? See, like, the thing is, what is moist for a Chaos Cultist, right? It's not exactly something that we think about. Nor should we. So let's not. I don't want to imagine any Chaos Cultist just, like, out in the rain. Like, it's like a PSA for abused cultists. If you're cold, they're cold. Bring your cultists inside. Death's Door. If you apply Doom this turn, gain 2 additional times. I'm gonna do that. Cost 2 or more, gain 3 block. Nope. That, and that should be good. Yep. Free attacks are good with Osti. Certainly depends on what cultist. It does. It does. A moist corn cultist would probably just be sweat, which is not great. A moist Nurgle cultist is just standard, which is also not great. It's also not terrible. That is the worst upgrade ever. Yeah, we're going to upgrade Blight Scythe, because that's real strong. Wish I had Countdown. That would be nice. Countdown would be a really good thing to have right now. There's no real point to upping my strength with this guy, because I can only deal 20 damage to him per turn. So I think I'm just going to pass it. Basically, just let him walk on, as it were. Yeah, Nurgle would be mildewy. Yes. Counterpoint. Don't ask about Slaanesh. Don't ask about Slaanesh. We don't need to worry about that. And then Zeech, I guess it would kind of just be syrup. That's the thing I'm thinking of. Is just, for Zeech, instead of a normal thing for them to be covered in, like water, they're just covered in a thin layer of syrup. And it's not a normal syrup, it's like agave syrup or something. Something odd. You're always saying some odd shit. I wish you would stop. Alright. Death's Door. Nice! Super easy, too. Yeah. And he just keeps putting Dazed on me, which is annoying. Get him, Usty! Urtsy. Kill him. Doom him! I don't want to think about Slaaneshi Sweat, no offense. That is not how I want to spend my day. Osti deals 10 damage to a random enemy. Huh, Sentry Mode? It's called Sentry Mode. I don't think I can not take that. I have to take that. That's a legal requirement. And it can be made 1. Okay, Sentry Mode is incredible. That's awesome. No, we're not. We're not talking about baby oil. Fuck no. Slaaneshi baby oil. That's horrifying. I hate it. Thank you for putting that image in my head. I mean, we all know that P. Diddy is a follower of Slaanesh. He is, in fact, a demon prince of Slaanesh. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. What? Oh, I can't bring him? Damn it. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine. Message retracted? Local man not allowed to talk about Diddy moment. Shield myself. What is it? Oh yeah, Sentry Mode. Just automatic. That's so good, honestly. Boom, and then that's just it, and that's just it, and I've taken no damage. King. Sorry, it's allergy season. I'm sneezing. Hits an additional time for every time he's attacked this turn. I mean, with Sentry Mode, that at least gives it 14 damage, which isn't bad. Alright. Let's go with Borrowed Time, Shroud, Negative Pulse, Drain Power, Defend. Because we want to keep the Malzel's Gift for the boss. Because Malzel's Gift is super, super strong. But only if we use it at the right time. At the very start of a long fight. 33 already. Super, super cool. Very fair. Fair and balanced. Alright. Bare and balanced, as they say. There's a creature barking outside my door. Excuse her. Alright. So, we're having to make our way through this thing's massive hit pool for some friggin' reason. Alright. Let's go with Unleash, Sweeping Gaze, Rattle. Nice! Super, super easy, too. Like, once I get the Necrobinder build on the way, it feels like it's much stronger than any of the other characters. But just getting the right cards is the hard part, because Doom is the mechanic. Doom is the mechanic that works best. Let's go with High Five. And we're going to Smith. And I'm going to buff... Ooh, what do I buff? I feel like Summon. No, Borrowed Time. Borrowed Time we definitely want, because Borrowed Time will be doubled up. No ass, no Bramo, Drill Sergeant. Yep. Alright. Okay. Bam. See, it's nice and easy. It's already at 10 Doom. It's already at 10 Doom. We do need to do Drain Power, Death's Door, and then Beckon, so that we don't have to worry about that happening again. And Ritual is just going to give us more strength every single turn. So there will be no problems with that. Trying as much health as we possibly can on our boy. We need Sentry Mode, we need High Five, and then Negative Pulse. Yeah, as much damage as possible, because now we're already at 37 Doom, which is super, super good. There was one thing that allowed me to do damage to an enemy based on how much Doom they had, which I liked, but it wasn't perfect. And this allows me to continue stacking damage, unlike Poison, through Intangible, which is unbelievably powerful. Like, he's basically already at half health, because when he hits Doom, he just loses. That's just the end of the game for him. Death's Door. Yeah. Already at 60. All we need to do is deal like 40 damage and we're good. I'm not even at half health already. And even though I do keep casting Doom on myself, I'm still only at 6. And it counts with my Shroud. So I get that back in terms of shielding. Oblivion, Call of the Void. I think I want more Oblivion. Like, Oblivion is just so good. The ability to use that over and over and over and over and over again is very powerful. Alright. I want that one really bad. I really want that one. Add Soot? Why would I want that? Yeah, no, I want Nutritious Soup. So all of your strikes basically don't cost mana anymore. So everything is free. Fire Sale! Alright, we're going to go up here. We're going to go right through here. And then preferably go here and up to here. Or, alternatively, we can go here. So, either way, straight up the gut. It's going to be a good build for us. Bodyguard, and then Drain Power. And damage. Yeah. This way, Osti will be able to survive. And we'll be able to kill these guys in a couple of turns. Alright, we're doing this. Here. And a smack. And a smack. Yeah, so he's already dead. And then that one is probably going to die as well. Within the next turn or two. We're going to take a little damage, but we should be okay. Alright. Yep, that's death. One down, one to go. Doom is so very powerful. Bam. Bam. Thank you, ma'am. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're going to take Wisp for the extra energy. Wisp is not a bad one. It's always good to have, like, a free 0 cost that gives you energy. Especially when your other stuff is very cheap, and you can just constant cast it, basically on cooldown. He stole my rattle! Can't have that. I can't have that. I cannot have that disrespect in my home. Not allowed. You are going to lose. Thieving Hopper. That is a fucked up name. Oblivion. Borrowed Time. Negative. Drain. Sentry Mode. Yeah. That way, I'm not losing too much health. Austin is going to take it, and then he's going to die next turn, essentially. Shouldn't have stuck around, nerd. Yep, nice and easy, because you can knock them off the ground. Mugenics? What's Mugenics? Haven't heard of that one. Do I want Poke? I want Fear. Fear is good. Adding Vulnerable to the enemies is kind of worth it. Chosen Cheese. Chosen Cheese is not good at this point, but Chosen Cheese would have been good in a little bit ago. I think we just want Invoke and Wisp for the extra energy. It's almost always good to have extra energy, because next up in the bigger fights, you're going to have more expensive cards coming out, which it's always preferable to have those cards be the one that you spend money on. No, Austie, and he's back. New game from the guy who made Binding of Isaac? No, I haven't, because the thing is, I never really played Binding of Isaac. So that's actually not surprising that I haven't heard of it. Apply Doom equal to the damage dealt. I want to do that to him. Should have done this first, and I have now royally fucked this up. My bad. I could have done that smarter. That is my fault. I never played Binding of Isaac. I've played little tiny bits of it here and there with, like, friends and such. But I didn't play the game itself, basically ever, as far as I know. So I wasn't really following it. If he's released a new game, that looks pretty cool. If you could send me, like, a link to the video, you can DM me on Discord, so go ahead and do that. Because that does sound pretty cool. Oh my goodness, this dude has so much armor. Annoying. Annoying, annoying, annoying. Can I please get something that does Doom? There we go. Defend, defend. Yep, go away. Go away. There we go. He's stunned, and now Doom will take him out. There we go. I don't need to lose 1,000,000 health. That was poorly managed, and probably my fault. Let's... I don't want to go into that with less than 19 hit points, so let's continue over here. Okay, well, that's rough. Damn. This is rough. This is rough. These are not friendly enemies. My poor health. Behold how low it has become. I fear for it. 16. I have just enough to avoid getting killed. Okay, thank God. Alright. Doom, Wisp, Bodyguard, Drain Power, Shield. Yes, and that's just barely enough to not take damage. Oh my goodness. I have not seen Iron Lung. I do plan on seeing it. I just don't know when, and I don't know where it's showing, like, in theaters near me. Get what I mean? Because, I'm not going to say where I live, but where I am, there's not a lot of big movie theaters or chains, so I'm not exactly sure where I can see it. If you guys know a spot where it would be, well, that would be awesome. But at the moment, I don't have the ability to go see it myself, but I will. And then, you know, eventually it'll be findable on the internet, and I will be able to find it then. So that's the plan for the moment. There we go. Add an exterminate to your deck, or add a squash to your deck. I would take a squash, please. The Bug Slayer. What a name. All that healing and still only 25 health. Oh, meal ticket. That doesn't really help me all that much. Damn, I still need to heal. Still not worth all that fighting. Oh, that's not good. Blight Strike. He needs to take all the damage. He needs to take all the damage. Because this thing hurts real bad. I remember this. I can live this, and I think I can kill him next turn, but we'll have to see. Alright. This, Shroud, right hand. Damn it. I'm going to take damage, and it's not going to die. Ugh, that's so miserable. Man, that would have been helpful last turn. Okay, there we go. There we go, thank God. Oh, I would have died there if not for that. Add 4 souls. No, I don't need that. Aussie deals 3 damage. It's the first time this card's been played this turn. Draw a card. This turn? Huh. I'll take Sleight of Flesh, because 13 damage on any debuff to the enemy is pretty worth. Avicopter. That is a horrible name for anything, ever. Why would you call it that? Alright, 9 dooms so far. Ah, Tough Egg. What in God's name is that? I don't like any of that at all. None of this is good. None of that is good. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. It's not very fun. What is going on? Borrow time. Alright, well, that's rough. That's rough. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna take damage. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I wish there was a thing that allowed me to do... Oh, that'll do. Thank the Lord. Thank God. Okay. That's a good combo right there. Gigantification Potion. Triple damage on your next attack, you say? Okay. I fuck with that. I fucks with that. You know what? It might be the time to use that, like, immediately now. Yep, so that just works. And then just to him, I guess. 15, it'll stun him. I'll take 2 damage. He's gonna die, and the rest of them are gonna be half doomed and at low health. You, Wisp, Sleight of Hand, Death's Door, and bang. That's good business, ladies and gentlemen. That is good business right there. We're gonna get Shroud, debuff, debuff, unleash, boom. Yep. If I can keep that combo going, we win. We do so good. Negative Pulse upgraded. Negative Pulse is actually really, really good upgraded. Push Dagger. Chant an attack with momentum 5. No. Dead Hunger. Yes. We don't want Bone Shards. Bone Shards is a traitorous, evil, bad card. We don't want that. Negative Pulse number 2. Play a card that costs 2 or more. Let's try Danse Macabre on for size, and then Snap, which we can do. And then we could just heal. Up to max, I think. Or close to max. It's fine. It's close enough. And then the Crab, which, 32nd floor, the Crab is kind of hard to defeat, but I am confident in my anti-Crab abilities. So whatever I do, I have to end facing the Crusher Claw. So, Invoke, Blight Strike, Normal Strike, Bodyguard, and then Fire Potion, Block Potion, Power Card for... Let's go with Sleight of Flesh permanently so we can give stuff debuffs. And then let's go with... ooh. Let's go with Death March. Okay, I kind of thought that it would say that that counted as things that I had drawn, but I guess it doesn't. It's fine, I block, Osti still has full health, that thing is heavily damaged. So now we switch sides. High five first. Switch sides. Blight Strike. Snap. Block. Okay. Still gonna deal damage, but it's not apocalyptic damage. Not too bad. There we go. 1. Negative pulse. Defend. Stab. Rattle. I'm trying to do this in the correct order, and if I don't do it in the correct order, I will die. And I do not want to die. I want to win this and actually be successful, because I claimed I was good at this game, and then I proved I wasn't very good at the game. So I'm doing my best at you. Borrowed time. There. Negative pulse, negative pulse. So he's done. He's done. He's dead. So it doesn't matter what happens with the rocket arm. That one's gone. And now it's just the rocket arm, which I have an entire turn to attack. And at 61 Doom, I think he dies next turn. And then that's game. Vulnerable, Blight, Strike. Yeah, that's game. That's game for him. Boom. Suck it, crab bitch. Alright, Time's Up, Spirit of Ash. I think, Time's Up was the one that I dealt damage equal to my Doom to the enemy. Alright, we're on the 3rd floor. Finally. Didn't expect this one to get so far. The top floor guy is a Chimera. He gives you some pretty good abilities. First card you play, sure. Yeah, we're taking Throwing Axe. Absolutely that one. We're going to go right up the middle, I think, for this. And then this. And then this into this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to be our route. Best build that we have here. Alrighty, we're on the final floor. Let's go. Bang. Squash. Blight. Bodyguard. We are going to take damage. Shit. A lot. That guy's gonna die, though. Fear and Vulnerable. Wisp. Take this. Take this. And then we should be good. 16 defense. Still not enough. Oh, boy. Alright. Deathbringer. Negative Pulse. Alright, there we go. Now everybody gets doomed to 0. Nice. And easy. And I lost half my health because I'm an idiot. Let's go with another Wisp, because why not? I am going to heal, luckily. So the Living Shield is our target here. Kind of an important thing. The Living Shield needs to be your first target with these. I kind of wish Osti, like, did 1 damage at the end of every turn, like something really minor. But it would kind of help a lot. Yeah, I need the extra stuff, because even if I take some damage here, I kind of need the damage in order... I need the energy in order to succeed the next one. Shroud. I think just negative pulse, negative pulse, negative pulse. And then unleash. Yep, that's it. That's a doer. That's a changer. He's done. Alright, Poker... Scourge, absolutely. Draw cards and deal that much frickin' doom. 100%. Worth. Worth. Negative pulse. Strike. Colorless card. Let's go with this one. Let's go with that. Sleight of Flesh. Death's Door. Alright, nice and easy. It should definitely be of a fairer type here. I think I may lose still, but in that case we just end the stream and then we're all good. Wisp, Negative Touch. Damn. I really hope... I can't do the math. Oh, yep. No, that's it. Alright. Darn. Well, we got close. That was a lot more XP than the last one. Hey, we got a new epoch. Sweet. That's a good note to end on. I know I'm not 100% at these, but I'm doing my best. Nice. And you'll notice a lot of these have, like, placeholder art, but it gives you a bunch of new stuff, which I love. It's always nice to see that they're, like, making a lot of progression in the game be important. Futility. No! Incident report. Between people and flying automatons. Funerary mask, bone flute, and book repair knife. All good. All really, really cool as well. I like some of this interim art. Like, you can see what is the official art, and then what is, like, we're working on it still stuff. But, in any case, that is a quick first look at Slay the Spire 2. We went through all of the non-first level characters for you guys, took a look at each of their kits, failed most of the time, but hey, that's what I do around here. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you sitting around and watching, and for those of you watching this as a video, thank you very much, and I wish you all a lovely